The painting we are looking at is called La Belle Dame sans Merci, created in 1901 by the English artist Frank Dicksee. At first glance, the scene looks romantic, almost magical. A beautiful woman leans down from her horse, gazing at a knight dressed in shining armor. The knight looks completely captivated by her presence. The forest glows with warm autumn light. Flowers bloom beneath their feet. Everything appears peaceful. But this painting hides a disturbing story, one about enchantment, illusion, and inevitable ruin. Because the woman in this painting is not simply beautiful, she is something far more dangerous. This painting was inspired by a haunting poem written in 1819 by the famous Romantic poet John Keats. The poem is called La Belle Dame sans Merci, which translates from French as, the beautiful lady without mercy. The poem begins with a mysterious question. A wandering traveler encounters a lonely knight sitting by himself in a cold, desolate landscape. The knight looks pale and exhausted. His armor hangs loosely on his body. The fields around him are empty. The birds are silent. Even nature itself seems lifeless. The traveler asks the knight a simple question. What happened to you? Why are you sitting here alone, looking as if life itself has drained from your body? Slowly, the knight begins to tell his story. And it begins with a meeting that seemed like fate. One day, while wandering through the wild countryside, the knight saw a woman unlike anyone he had ever seen before. She was breathtakingly beautiful. Her hair was long and wild. Her eyes seemed filled with mystery. She spoke in a strange language, soft, musical, almost hypnotic. The knight immediately fell under her spell. He believed he had found something magical. Something destined. He made a garland of flowers for her hair. He decorated her wrists and waist with wild blossoms. He placed her on his horse. And together they rode through the countryside. The woman sang softly to him, songs the knight could not fully understand. But the melody alone was enough to enchant him. The knight believed he had found love. But the truth was far darker. In the poem, the woman is described as a fairy's child. This suggests that she is not entirely human. She belongs to another realm, a supernatural world filled with mysterious beings. Creatures who are beautiful, but also dangerous. These beings often appear in folklore and medieval legends. They lure humans with charm and beauty. But their affection is never genuine. It is simply part of the trap, and the knight never realizes this. Not until it is too late. Eventually, the woman leads the knight to a hidden place. A secret cave. A grotto deep within the wild landscape. Inside this cave, she feeds him strange foods. Wild honey. Manna. And mysterious roots. The knight becomes completely enchanted. He believes the woman loves him. He believes she has chosen him. But after he falls asleep in her arms, something terrifying happens. While sleeping, the knight begins to dream. In the dream, he sees a horrifying vision. He sees pale kings. Dead princes. And ghostly warriors. Their faces are thin and lifeless. And they tell the knight something he desperately wishes not to hear. The beautiful woman he loves, has trapped him just like the others. In the poem's famous line, they say, La Belle Dame sans Merci hath thee in thrall. Which means, the beautiful lady without mercy has captured you. The knight suddenly wakes from his nightmare. But the woman is gone. The cave is empty. The magic has vanished. He finds himself alone in a cold, barren landscape. And he realizes the terrible truth. He has been abandoned. The woman never loved him. He was simply another victim. Another name added to the long list of ruined kings, princes, and knights. The knight is left wandering alone. And that is why, when the traveler finds him at the beginning of the poem, he is sitting alone in a lifeless field. His spirit broken, his fate sealed. Now look again at the painting by Frank Dicksee. It does not show the knight after his downfall. Instead, it captures the moment when the enchantment is just beginning. The knight gazes up at the woman with awe. His posture shows admiration, fascination, and trust. He has no idea what lies ahead. But the woman's expression tells a different story. She appears calm, confident, almost knowing. Her body leans toward him, pulling him deeper into her spell. This moment is the turning point. The moment before the trap fully closes. And that is what makes the painting so powerful. We know something the knight does not. We know his fate. The painting is filled with subtle symbolism. Look closely at the environment around them. The season appears to be autumn. Leaves are falling from the trees. In art, autumn often represents decline or the approaching end of something. The flowers blooming near them suggest beauty and romance. But flowers also fade quickly. Just like the knight's illusion of love. Even the knight's shining armor tells a story. Armor represents strength and protection. Yet here, it cannot protect him. Because his enemy is not a sword. It is enchantment. Why the story still fascinates us. More than 200 years after the poem was written, the story of La Belle Dame sans Merci still fascinates people. Partly because it touches on a universal fear. The fear of falling in love with someone who was never truly yours. The fear of being enchanted by something beautiful, only to discover that beauty can also destroy. But the story is also a reflection of older myths. Across many cultures, legends speak of mysterious women who lure travelers to their doom. Sirens in Greek mythology. Enchantresses in medieval tales. Fairy queens in folklore. They all share the same theme. Today, the poem by John Keats and the painting by Frank Dicksee remain among the most famous examples of romantic art and literature. They remind us that beauty can be powerful, but also deceptive. If you want to see more hidden secrets in famous art, hit that subscribe button.